Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Poor Kemi, bless. She launched her party's local election campaign today, and it was very pessimistic. She knows full well that the Tories are going to, be given a black eye, shall we say, by the electorate. 14 years of Tory rule hasn't quite gone away, regardless about how bad the Labour Party are. So while people are really busy hating on the Labour Party, they still have that itch at the back of their mind about what the Tories did for 14 years. And they're not in a forgiving mood. And so Kemi's quite well aware that while they may pick up a few anti-Labour votes, they've lost an awful lot of Tory votes, and they're going to notice this come the 1st of May in those few places that have very graciously, by our dear leaderine, been allowed to have a vote. Not anywhere, of course, important, not anywhere where Labour are likely to get handed their arse by the Reform Party. Oh no, not allowed those votes. If there's a chance of a Labour person losing, not allowing that one. It's very odd that he's allowed any, to be honest. I think the next general election is 50-50, the way it's going. But the Tory leader herself has been warned by the number monkeys, the old backroom analysts and things, that they would lose every single council. They'll win individual seats. They may even win over someone from another seat to another seat. But that they're going to lose every single council that it won in 2021. And if the general election were to be done today, the Tories would be the third party, and possibly even worse the way it's going. You've got a Bank of England have decided that they're not reducing the interest rates again. So sucks to have a mortgage. I've got a mortgage. And it means that there'll be no cuts to the borrowing rate for people who want to invest. Not that anyone is mad enough or bonkers enough or a lunatic in wanting to come to Britain and invest at the moment, where investing in Britain is seen as risky, pointless, expensive, and a surefire loser because of who's sitting in number 11. Did I say a surefire loser? Yeah. That's investing in Britain, not who's sitting in number 11. She's brilliant. She's not a surefire loser. She is a genius. Best accountant, best economist, best chancellor ever. Finger on the pulse. Knows exactly what she's doing. And she hasn't screwed the economy at all. Well, next Wednesday, Reeves will be having her... I was going to use the words emergency budget, but we're not allowed to call it that. Her spring financial statement. It's nothing panicking. Move along, nothing to see. It's all very calm. Yes, everything's gone completely wrong. The economy's bust. Buildings are on fire and children are screaming for mummy. But, everything is going okay. And she doesn't need to have an emergency budget to fix all the mistakes that other people made in the previous budget. It's all Donald Trump's fault and Brexit and aliens. It's not hers. None of her decisions were terrible. They were all genius decisions. And she completely ignores the Laffer curve because in her mind, it doesn't matter. Obviously, with all the money that's fled, the income from tax has dropped massively. And with all the job losses about to happen, of course, the tax take will drop again massively. And weirdly, at the same time, the benefits bill will go through the roof. So really good choices from that genius Rachel Reeves. I'm so glad that she's in charge. Otherwise, think how bad it would be if we were just still haphazardly, slowly growing like it was before they came to power. Dangerous territory, that. Little nice, steady, slow growth and falling interest rates and falling inflation, isn't it? Who knows where that would have led? God, you'd have seen people with money in their pocket. They'd be happy. Don't want that. But having ruled out tax rises and said that she's going to concentrate on cuts, so anyone who needs anything, you're going to suffer more misery, more poverty. And she said there'll be no more tax rises. And that's code for there's going to be tax rises. So hold on to your hats and or knickers, depending on which you're particularly wearing at the moment. Going forward, you've got Kemi trying her very best. She's going to use what's going to come from Rachel Reeves' weird intonations as she speaks about cuts and try and turn it against her. She's going to try and bolster the Tories by using the Labour austerity, the Labour failure. But I don't think Kemi's got a chance in hell of turning around what I think you can really only call a deplorable situation for Labour. For the Tories at the moment, rather. Any other party, with a party in power, Labour, being this bad, any other party in history would be flying high. They'd be stratospheric. You know, when Labour screwed up under Brown and it was the old there's no money left thing at the end, the Tories were bound to win or do very well. It actually ended up being quite close. They had to go into coalition. But the reason it went into coalition is because the Lib Dems were also flying high. You had two very high-flying parties and they were taking each other's votes effectively. Had, say, the Lib Dems not been quite so effective, there would have been a complete, clear Conservative majority. But that's what's happening now. So you've got a Labour fail. The Tories are not quite in free fall, but they are going down quite, significantly. They're not growing as they should. Reform are booming. The Lib Dems are quite smug. I think they've gone up a couple of points. And then you've got the other parties that don't really matter. But it's just there. It's going to be really tight. No, we're in dangerous and difficult territory, of course. Nobody really knows where we're going forward. But Kemi is failing to capture the public imagination. She should be out there pounding the beat, yelling from the rooftops, Labour this, Labour that. Yes, and the greatest thing Kemi could do is say, yes, we got it wrong at the end. We lost our way after COVID. We were concentrating on this, and COVID did affect us, and we struggled. But he said, well, we were right at the end. And right at the end, you see the figures. We were growing again. Difficult decisions were made. We were growing. And she should be saying that, admitting the failures, showing fair cause underlying problems, and then showing also that the economy was growing. What she's doing is just constantly attacking something we know can be attacked. But she's not offering solutions. And none of this is going to wash. On the other hand, Reform are offering some solution. Not all. I'm not making Reform out to be the answer. Nigel Farage is not the Messiah. What he is he's different. And that's what people want. They don't want the same old faces. They don't want the same bullshit and lies. They don't want word salads pretending that they're the answers. They want change. Change one thing. Show one thing that you can change and you can win. And I think with Reform, there's several. Kemi hasn't got it. And that's why she's so pessimistic, downhearted, and soon to be called the ex-leader of the Tory party. Can't be long now, can it? Thanks a lot. Bye.